Hello everyone, welcome back to the class of biotechnology. Today we are going to discuss about the tissues. You know, individual tissues consist of cells and extracellular materials that have a particular function in our body. But before moving forward, if you are new here, please like and subscribe to this channel and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you cannot miss any of the future video. The study of tissues is called histology, right? And this study basically deals with the cells and the extracellular materials that combine together and form a tissue. Organs of a body are formed by two or more tissues. And when, in terms of disease, if we want to diagnose any human, then we follow the system at a tissue level, right? So, in many disease of a human body are diagnosed at the tissue level. For that, the surgical specimen are routinely sent to the pathology lab so that accurate assessment of the health of the tissues and consequently the health of individual can be made. Basically, there are four type of tissues. One is epithelial, second connective tissue, muscular tissue, and nervous tissue. So these are the four type of tissues. In terms of function, epithelial tissues covers the body surface, lines cavities and form glands. In connection to the epithelial or in contrast to the epithelial, the connective tissues actually supports, protects and binds other tissues together. When we talk about the muscular tissue, then it facilitates the movement through contraction. It mainly found in heart. Nervous tissue, it transmits electrical impulse and processes information like neurons. If we talk about what type of cells are present, then or what is the shape of the particular cells, then in case of the epithelial tissues, cells are closely packed and are forming continuous sheets. In connective tissues, there are so many varieties of it and is widely distributed in terms of round shape, star shaped and elongated shaped. In case of the muscular tissues, the cells are long, cylindrical, branched and spindle shaped. Long and cylindrical in case of skeletal muscles, branched in case of the cardiac muscles and spindle shaped in case of smooth muscles. So these are the types of these are the shape of the cells in case of the muscular tissues. When we talk about the nervous tissues, here the cells are, especially the neurons, are star shaped and branching. Glial cells are having various different shapes, right? When we talk about the location of these tissues, then the epithelial tissues are mainly found in skin epidermis, lining of gut and glands. The connective tissues are present in bone, blood, adipose tissues, tendons, etc. And the muscular tissues, the skeletal muscles, cardiac muscles, and the smooth muscles. So these were the location where these particular type of tissues are specifically found. Nervous tissues are present in brain, spinal cord, and peripheral nerves. The cells of these tissues are arranged differentially, like the in case of the epithelial tissues, the cells are single layered and is simple, and sometimes they are also multi layers and are called stratified. In case of connective tissues, the arrangements of cells are usually scattered within an extracellular matrix. In muscular tissues, they are organized in bundle or sheets depending on the types. When we talk about the neurons, the cells here are complex network, and glial cells are interspreads with neurons. If we talk about the extracellular matrix, then in this epithelial tissues, the extracellular matrices are minimal, but the cells are tightly joined in this case. In the case of the connective tissues, extracellular matrix is comparatively abundant and varies from liquid to solid, like liquid in terms of blood and to the solids in terms of bones. If you talk about the muscular tissues, then again the extracellular matrix is minimal here, and the cells are also tightly packed in this case. And in case of the nervous tissues, very little extracellular matrices are present here. Now let us discuss each and every type of the epithelial tissues, connective tissues, muscular tissues, and nervous tissues. So let's start with the simple squamous epithelium tissues. They looks like a floor tiles. As you can see here, it looks similar to the floor tiles. It occurs in the air sacs of lungs and in the lining of the blood vessels. And there it is called as endothelium. And if found in the surface layer of the membrane, it is called as mesothelium. So endothelium and mesothelium. Endothelium is when it is found in the lining of the blood vessels. And when it is at the surface, in the surface layer of the membrane, then it is called as the mesothelium. This picture represents the diagram of the mesothelium, and this is the photomicrograph of the mesothelium when seen under a 400x resolution. Another type of the simple epithelial tissue is the simple cuboidal epithelium. Actually, it consists of cube-like or wedge-shaped like cells. Therefore, you can call it as a cuboidal epithelium. This cube cells you can also see here, cuboidal epithelium, this portion, right? So, and the cells mostly are uniform in size. As you can see here, all these cells are uniformly placed here and are uniform in size. This portion is called the basement membrane, and this portion is called the kidney tubule, and it forms a many glands and glandular organs and major cell type of the kidney. So the location, major location where you can see the simple cuboidal epithelium tissues is the kidney. Such type of tissues involved in the secretion of the fluids, that is oils, and in reabsorption, as in kidney. So in this type of tissues, the plasma membrane, nucleus, basement membrane are very clearly visible. As you can see in this figure also and here in this figure also. These things are very distinct. Another type is the simple columnar epithelium. The cells here resembles to the tall column anchored at one end of the basement membrane. As you can see here, anchored at the basement membrane, this portion is called the basement membrane, and here the nuclei is aligned in a row. You can see this nuclei are arranged or aligned in a row. Such type of tissues provide absorption area for the digested food because of the presence of the microvilli here at the surface you can see, and the mucus secreting goblet cells are frequently found with it, right? So this is the goblet cells, and these goblet cells are frequently found with this type of tissues. This is the photomicrograph image of simple columnar epithelium tissue. Another type is the stratified squamous epithelium. Such type of tissues are arranged in a layer. The cells in this case are arranged in a layer on a basement membrane, and they makes up outermost layer of the skins, and such type of tissues lines in the vaginal canal, oral cavity, and esophagus. So these were the locations where you can find the stratified squamous epithelium tissues. Such type of tissues also provide protection against mechanical abrasion. And the cells here are cuboidal in shapes at a basement layer, as you can see here at the base bit here, the cuboidal shaped cells, and are of two types, that is the keratinized and non-keratinized. The keratin is a tough protein that hardens cells in the outer layer of the skin. Another is the type of the epithelium tissue is the urothelium. It is also called as transitional epithelium. They are less remarkable stretching capabilities and lines the ureter, that is, it finds in the ureter, urinary bladder, and some part of the kidneys, proximal urethra. So these are the location where you can find the urothelium. It allows the bladder to expand as it fills with urine. Next type of tissue that we will be talking about is the muscular tissues. Like epithelial tissue, muscular tissue is a cellular tissue with a tissue having mostly cells and little matrix. These cells are contractile in nature and are little bit shorter. And there are basically three types of muscular tissues, that is the skeletal, cardiac, and smooth muscles. And this contractile and shortened nature of the tissue is due to the presence of the sliding of protein filament across one another. Now, the first type of the muscular tissue we are going to talk about is the skeletal muscle. The cells of the skeletal muscles are called fibers or myocytes. Our organs are mostly made of the skeletal muscles, and the cells here looks like stripes, hence can be referred as a striated muscles. As you can see here, stripes are present, right? So can be called as a striated muscles. They are voluntary in nature and having a many nuclei. So multinucleated or syncytial. The nuclei here are elongated and occur at periphery of the cell. As you can see here, these are the elongated, right? Here also the nuclei are elongated. Next type of muscular tissue is the cardiac muscles, and you know they are mainly found in the hearts and are striated type. And although the striating is comparatively less, the cell's diameter is less here. The cells are called as cardiomyocytes, and the cardiomyocytes are branched and contracts on its own, therefore called as involuntary muscles. The cells here are mostly uninucleated and the nucleus centrally located. Here, as you can see, the nucleus are centrally located, right? And are oval in shape. The cardiomyocytes are joined together by intercalated disc, and these discs helps in transmission of the electric impulse. These discs have connection between the adjacent cells, and hence these junctions are called as gap junctions. So this was the diagram of the cardiac muscles. These are the intercalated disc. This is the striations, the glycogens presents in this case here. And again here in this image you can see striations and the intercalated disc, and here the cell nucleus. The third type of the muscular tissue is the smooth muscles. They are non-striated type and are involuntary in nature. And such type of tissues are mainly found in the gastrointestinal tract. The uterine contractions during a labor are produced from smooth muscles. They are also found in hair follicles and sphincters. Cells of the smooth muscles are basically spindle in shape, and are uninucleated. The nucleus is centrally located and elongated in shape when muscles is relaxed. That is, in relaxed condition, the nucleus is centrally located and elongated in shape. When the muscles is contracted, the nucleus appears croc-screw shaped. As you can see here, the nucleus is elongated. So this is the relaxed condition of the muscular tissue. The third type of tissue is the nervous tissue. And nervous tissue, as with the epithelial and the muscular tissue, is also a cellular tissue and is found in brain and spinal cord. And the cluster of the nerve cells bodies here called as ganglia. And the conductive cells of this tissue is the neuron. And the neuron here receives and transmits the electrochemical impulse. And there are three major regions on the neurons, that is the dendrites, cell body, and axons. As you can see here, this is the nuclei of the glial cells. This one is called as axons. This is the neurosomes or neurosoma. This part is called the dendrites. The third type of tissue is the connective tissues. The tissues that you have seen so far, that is epithelial, muscular, and the nervous, are mainly composed of cells with a very little extracellular material. But this is not the case with the connective tissues. In this case, uh, these tissues are mainly composed of extracellular matrices, and there are usually connective tissues that consists of the fibers, fluids, gels, and the solid substances. Fibrous connective tissues, adipose tissue, cartilage, bones, and blood are the types of connective tissues. So let us discuss each of them one by one. That is, first one is the fibrous connective tissues. These tissues are dense, regular connective tissues and are arranged parallelly. Here you can see these tissues are arranged parallelly. Fiber, although there are irregular types also, the fibers are arranged irregularly and runs in many directions. Here, as you can see in this image, irregular fibers. Regular one found in tendon, ligaments, and irregular one is found in deep layer of the skins and white of eyes. Fibers are made of collagen. You know collagen is a protein. Next is the elastic tissue. It is a type of fibrous connective tissue, and the elastic tissues has a cellular component of the fibroblast. The fiber in this tissue are made of collagenous and elastic fibers. Elastic fibers are made of protein called as elastin, and such type of tissues occur in a wall of arteries. Looks like dark squiggly lines, as you can see here. Also found in vocal cord. Next is a reticular tissue. These are loose connective tissues and has a fibroblast. These tissues are made up of different types of collagens, mainly found in liver, spleen, and lymph nodes. And when such type of tissues are silver stained, they appear black, while when you use Mason stain for staining, such type of tissues appear as blue. The fibers here appears branched and small among cells. As you can see here, reticular fibers are small and branched. Another type is the areolar tissues. It is a complex collection of fibers and cells found as with a wrapping around the organs. It wraps around the organs. It mainly consists of large pink stained collagenous fibers, and the smaller one is a dark elastic reticular fibers, and a collection of cells that include fibroblast, mast cells, and macrophages. Uh, Another type is the elastic cartilage. It is connective tissues and is unique in that it contains elastic fibers, which gives the tissue its flexible nature. So it is a flexible in nature. It is mainly found in the external ear and in a main part of the larynx called the epiglottis. If it's stained silver, it appears black, and if not stained, then it is very hard to distinguish this type of tissue. Next is the bone. Bone is also a type of connective tissues in which the extracellular matrix contain a calcium phosphate mineral and hence can be called as hydroxy apatite or collagenous fiber. Osteon resembles to tree trunk here, as you can see here. Osteon, it looks like a tree trunk, and there are so many rings also present here, as it is present in the tree trunk. Space in the middle of the osteon, known as the central canal. The dark dots around the central canal, as you can see, are small spaces where osteocytes, that is the bone cells, occur in bone tissue. So this was about the bones. Next is the adipose tissues, and it is unusual type and is highly cellular. The cell present in the adipose tissues is called as adipocytes. Adipocytes mainly stores fats and hence provide energy. Nucleus and the cytoplasm remain on the outer part of the cells near cell membrane, as you can see here, this portion. Hyaline cartilage and the fibrocartilage, we forgot these two when we were discussing about the cartilage. So now these are most common. Hyaline is the most common cartilage and is found at the apex of the nose, ends of many bones, between the ribs and the respiratory passages. They are almost clear and glassy in fresh tissues but appears light pink or blue in prepared slides. If you talk about the fibrocartilage, then the fibers are coarse here and are large in bundles. Found in the intervertebral disc, pubic symphysis, menisci of each knee. Cordocytes found in a row of 4 or 5. You can see here the row of cordocytes. So these are in the row of 4 or 5. Next type is the blood. Blood is also a type of connective tissue and it contains extracellular matrix, but no fibers are visible here. And the extracellular matrix is a fluid, and such fluids are called the plasma. Fibers occurs in a blood as a blood clot. Cells of bloods are erythrocytes, that is the red blood cells, platelets, that is the cellular fragments, and the leukocytes, that is the white blood cells. Blood, is present all over the body, mainly in the heart and the blood vessels. The function is to transport the gases, nutrients, hormones, waters, etc. So this was all about the tissues, and I hope you like this video. So thank you for today.